Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for attending our webinar this morning. My name is Smita Narshati, one of the core team member of Purple Synapse, with few years of cybersecurity experience working in a forensic department of QoS technology. Purple Synapse, located in Bangalore, which is our world-class cybersecurity research, innovation, attack simulation labs, also provides a red and blue teaming training solution in order to secure the information systems of the world. This webinar is happening in association with KTEC. KTEC is a cybersecurity center of excellence, really a good initiative from Karnataka government to spread a cybersecurity awareness and innovations. And I would like to introduce a guy who is sitting next to me, Mr. Murli. He's my colleague. He has completed his. He is a senior security. Okay. He is a senior network security specialist with 5 years of hands-on experience, a certified ethical hacker, a certified checkpoint security masters, also one of the core team member of Purple Synapse. Good morning, Murli.
Good morning.
Please take the further control. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumita, and very good morning, everyone. So I'll just start now. I think everyone are able to hear my voice. So as you guys know, this webinar is all about providing you basic awareness of a ransomware malware attack. So my major goal of this session is to provide you cybersecurity awareness by showing you with how a sophisticated ransomware infection happens, and demo of open source ransomware with some network artifacts as forensics and preventing measures at a basic level. So please leave your questions in the chat box. I will discuss on them at the end of this session. Okay. Let's get started. So firstly, I would like to give an idea about the attack flow. So in this use case, you're seeing on the slide, a pen tester was hired to test out the company's security. What they actually did is they targeted receptionist on her smartphone. So it could be easy way to the pen tester instead of targeting on the PC. So in this use case, they did targeted campaign attacks where they ultimately got her to download a gaming app on her device because she would give her device to kids, so that app was nice for playing some sounds. That gaming app was actually a malicious one. Then from smartphone, receptionist connected to a guest Wi-Fi since she doesn't have internet connection. Then the app was able to scan for any other devices connected to the same network, and by looking at those areas and using that device as a reconnaissance device and the scanning. The app was successfully discovered vulnerable computer attached to the guest network. Then attacker migrated from mobile device, then created a connection to vulnerable computer, and also moved access laterally to gain full access to the admin server. So ultimately, they were able to get the sensitive data and control on the company's domain server. So here, I would like to inform you, this is how smartphones and PCs without a proper security are becoming one of the main entry point to the organizations, because the endpoints are the true parameters for the attack vectors. So if you get onto this use case, this gives you ability to start understanding what are the other attacks that an attacker can leverage to move into the enterprise. So most of the time people bring their own devices to work with the organization on different enterprise campuses. So as per the explained use case, the compromised domain server has details when a new endpoint like smartphone, PCs are connected to the enterprise network. Now attacker can leverage to map out sensitive endpoints and ultimately use that to deliver ransomware demanding ransom, and that malware can even spread laterally to infect other computer. So if it is worm, worm malware family like crypto worms, it would be a very disaster for the entire enterprise. So let's see some basic definition of ransomware. So what are they? The locker and crypto are the main forms of ransomware. There are many ways that malware like ransomware can spread and infect computers, mainly through spam mails, which has malware attachments that user downloads and opens. Spear phishing and watering hole attacks, or whaling attacks, we call it as. They are targeted specific attacks. They target high-ranking victims within the company, attempts to steal sensitive information. So after that, once they get privileged access, they deploy the malwares for further attacks. They can leverage like anything as they want. So uh, also can spread through social engineering attacks like inside attacks or any phishing attacks. So you might have seen the scareware warning messages like security warning, your computer is infected with the virus, click here to scan. So where actually user traffic on the browser will be redirected to download the malicious malware to release its executables into the system for infection. So let's see WannaCry in real, so that you get a fair idea about a ransomware, WannaCry ransomware, for example, how it executes and how it infects the system, actually how the files get encrypted. Let's see in the lab. Here I have made my own lab just for understanding purpose. So here's my victim. So the malware attachments can come through some links through the PDF files, doc files which contain some macros, or through the executables. So in my case, I'm going to download some malware that in advance I don't know. HTTP www.updates.com/health_exe. So probably this I got it through the mail where saying that some messages tricking me to download this app to some link entering through the browser. The moment I click on this, updates.com health.test is my original file. Okay. Yeah. Health_test. Okay, sorry, it's a .exe file. Okay, so I'm going to download malware. That's why my that is known to all the known antivirus vendors, including Chrome browser. So it is giving a warning message that is a dangerous file. So I'm just keeping that for a demo purpose. Here is my file. Actually, it is WannaCry file. WannaCry ransomware, it's renamed to health.txt and health.test.exe. The moment I run it, so before that you had to verify before running it. So some files are there on my desktop. So if you can open it, let's see, you're able to open it or not. You'll be able to see something. So whatever document, this is a PDF file which contains all the text, and many files are there. So let's go ahead into the downloads and run my executable, that is actual malware WannaCry. That as a victim in advance, I'm not sure so it's malicious or not. I just download it to test my PC health. I'm just going to run this. Let's see what happens. So you are able to see what's happening here on the desktop. So WannaCry started encrypting all the files. It is taking some time to encrypt entire PC. Let me close this window. Let's see it on the desktop. So at the background, it's still encrypting all the files. So all my video files and PDF and whatever extensions that's starting encrypted and leaving some note here. What's wrong with file and all these things. So slowly at the background, it is encrypting all my files. So if I open on the previous file I opened, I think it won't open. Let me open. It's not opening. So because WannaCry has encrypted, okay. So now after a few seconds, I'm able to see this box noticing me to pay the ransomware, to pay ransom. So background theme also got changed, that saying, oops, your important files are encrypted. This is the action of WannaCry when it's executed on the victims. Okay. So what happened in ransomware attacks? Let's understand. So step by step. So initially, infection happened. It was 1 to 2 seconds. The moment I double click on that, it got executed when after download. So execution with it happens within 0 to 5 seconds, and it also corrupts the backup. We call it as restore points, right? it targets that and corrupts those backups and corrupts within 5 to 10 seconds. In our case, it was taking much time since it's a VMware, and I assigned uh, a very less time. So after file encryption may take, it depends on how much file size it's that and how much files are there in the system. It takes hardly 1 to 2 minutes, and it gives us notification after 1 to 3 minutes or within 2 minutes. This is what we have observed. So now you have an idea of how a ransomware works, like WannaCry. So let's dissect an open source ransomware. So okay, so hidden tier. This is an open source project. This goal was to create a simple ransomware in C Sharp. It's a ransomware like simple file crypter, which can be modified for specific purpose. So unfortunately, its source code is available on GitHub for downloading from more than 400 forks. This ransomware uses symmetric AES algorithm to encrypt the files on the victim system. So it will then send the symmetric key, that is password, to uh, the CNC server, that is command and control server that we had set up, in our lab. And then we leave the victim noticing a ransomware message box that explains what happens after infection and during the infection. So in order to check this in lab, you need to first install a Visual Studio that supports C# language. Then we will go to GitHub and download the hidden tier ransomware source code. Also, we customize the ransomware and decryptor. There are two files majorly. One is ransomware infector and the decryptor. So then we compile it, both of them, and build a file. One is decryptor and one is an infecting file. So once it is done, we have to set up a web server on Kali Linux or any other web server, okay, Ubuntu or anything. So we have to configure this Kali web server to receive the encryption keys the moment it was double clicked on the victim. So keys will be sent to the CNC server. Then we move the ransomware and decryptor to victim machine by tricking the user to execute the attacks. So this is what happens. So let me see. Let me show you how it happens in a video. Okay. Okay, I'm going to play this. This is my Windows 10 victim. So where I'm going to infect this mission through hidden tier ransomware. So normally user gets the link and through which he has to enter through the browser, and he will get that infecting file. Purple.exe is the one which is going to infect my victim. Okay, before downloading, I will run Wireshark in order to check what happens at the network level while the ransomware executes on the victim. So just start sniffing on the victim machine itself. So this is the malicious link. I got it through some SMS on the phone or through some PDF file, document file. So purple.exe is the infecting file, the ransomware file, which was made from hidden tier code. And we have downloaded. This is the one. Before So for making a clear understanding, I'm just copying it and going to paste it on the desktop. So before running it, let's see, some files are there on the desktop. So let's open it and see and read the contents before encryption. Some file we're able to see it's opening and we're able to read that. This is actually a PDF file. So now we go ahead and run our purple ransomware. Yeah. One more thing I will show you. This is CNC server which I made locally on the VM. So its IP address is this one, 172.168.20.172. It is acting as a command and control server. So where we have to create some program that keys.php. So keys.php file has the PHP script that collects the data from the info get parameter and the data.txt file to save the victim's missions, username and encryption files. And now go ahead and run. Okay, the moment I run this purple, my files on the desktop are immediately encrypted and it is showing a message box which is explaining how it happened and what happened to this victim's computer. This is a customized code we have done in the hidden tier source code. So the moment I click on decrypt now, that's a button, okay, which will download a decryptor. That's also executable from the CNC server. Before that, it was not there. Only when you click on decrypt now, it will download that. And in order to decrypt the files, you need to give the key. Also keep in mind that there's a warning message. This program is only for educational purpose. Don't use it for offensive purpose. So let's see, where is the key? You can see in cat.data.txt. The third one, you can see my mission name and username. User is a username and this is the password for decryption. I'll just copy this. So this key, whatever you are seeing here, right? Yeah. Just remember the last 3-4 words, ZOOO, and in real scenario, these keys will be provided by the attacker when you pay the ransom. Now going to put the same key inside the decryptor. Okay. Okay, so the moment I click on decrypt my files, the files were decrypted. So now, meanwhile, Wireshark is capturing what is happening at the network level. So due to Due to time constraints, we don't talk much about the system level artifacts like what was the changes happened when malware is executing. So, but Sumita will give you some idea about the network artifacts while ransomware infections. So this file, whatever Wireshark we are running, right, that was captured and it was saved to some file, purple something, probably purple.pcap.ng. So this I took it out, and now Sumita is going to explain you about the network artifacts. Okay. So Sumita, are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So
So this is the PCAP file which was taken during the attack. So there were total 650 packets being captured. So let's start analyzing this PCAP file. So before starting going deep into the packets, let's first see how many TCP connections were made during this process. So statistics conversation TCP. So there were 4 connections being made from the client to the server. So this is the first TCP stream, first packet, first TCP packet. So I'll just right click on this packet and follow stream. So let's see what happened during this process. So okay, this is a client IP 172.168.20.129 and the server IP is 172.168.20.172. So client is sending the SYN request and the server is responding back with the SYNAC and the client is again sending a SYN request. So this is the proper three-way handshake from the client and the server. And the next immediate packet is from the client, which is asking for purple.exe file. And you can see this arrow, which is like from client to the server it is. And the server has responded back the acknowledgement for this particular get request. So you can just see when I click on this packet, there's a tick mark here. So this is acknowledgement for the packet. So again, there are furthermore packets from the server. It is sending a reassembled PDU packets. So it means like whatever get request we have asked from the server, it is sending those packets. So this you can just see if I click on this packet, the client has responded back telling that I have received the above packet. You can send further more packets. So there are a few more reassembled preview packets. So I'll just go to the last. So these packets are related to that particular purple.exe file. So I'll just go to the last packet where this is a last packet which was sent from the server to the client. It's also a reassembled preview packet. So this packet consists of that exe file which was asked at the initial get request. So I'll just scroll this up and click on this packet. So you can just see the arrow here. This is a get request. The arrow is from client to the server. And at the last, you can see this is the response back for that particular packet. So this is a reassembled packet. You can just see here down in the header. It's like it has reassembled 316 packets. I can just enlarge this and see. These are the packets which was reassembled. And okay, this then it's a four-way disconnection of the TCP packets. So this is the first stream, so zeroth stream. So let's go to the second stream and see what was happening. So in the second stream, it is just a SYN, SYNAC, ACK, and the FIN request. So there's nothing much to see in this particular stream. So let's go to the third stream. So this is the third stream. So here you can see the keys. Like for example, the first is the SYN, SYNAC, ACK. It means a proper three-way handshake. And the further packet, the next packet is the keys. Like for example, in this packet, whatever the keys are there, like during the encryption, what all keys were used were were sent from the client to the server, so that using this particular keys only, the client can decrypt the packets, decrypt the files. So these are the so this is the key, you can see. So this is the key. So server has acknowledged and OK status and proper four-way disconnection. So let us go to the next stream, which is third stream. It means this is the last TCP stream. So here also you can see proper three-way handshake from the client and the server. This is a decryptor.exe, and the client has requested for decryptor.exe. This is an exe file. It means a decryptor.exe. When we execute this particular decryptor.exe, there you can give the keys, means whatever decryption keys are there, that you can give, means those keys you can give here and decrypt all the files. So this packet consists of the actual key. You can see it's a reassembled packet. The total reassembled packets are 151. So let's try to create these files, means recreate these files. So in my previous videos, you can see how to recreate the files. And now also I'll be showing how to recreate the files. Just go to File, Export Objects, and HTTP. So these are the two files. One is purple.exe, which is a malware, and there's one more file, decryptor.exe, where you can give the keys to this decryptor.exe, and whatever the data is encrypted will be decrypted by giving the keys. I'll just save all. And what I'll do is I'll just create one folder on the desktop named purple. So I'll save all this. So I have saved the files here. So purple.exe. So these are the two files. So let us, the folder is loading. So these are the two files which we have downloaded using Wireshark. It's okay. As of now, you can see this, whatever communication was going on, it's in a HTTP connection. So what you can do is, like, if it is not, if it is a secured connection, for example, if it is using SSH communication, so what you can do is you can generate the keylogger. You can create a keylogger in your host machine whenever there is any SSL communication taking place. Uh, in your laptop. So all the keys will be generated and kept in a key logger. So you can import those keys in a Wireshark and then decrypt the communication actually. So you can just go watch my previous videos. There you can see how to decrypt SSH communication. So okay, I guess this is an end. Like I'll just hand over to Murli to continue.
You can see.
So here you can see like how many HTTP packets are there. There are like 6 packets where there was one GET request for a purple.exe and we got an acknowledgement for that. And there's one request for keys. I mean, the keys were sent from the source to the server, and this is the key. And there was one more decryptor.exe file which was downloaded from the server, and we know how to recreate those files also. So the malware is there. So we have recreated the malware, and we even got the keys from the Wireshark. When we go deep into the packets, you can just see the keys here. So you can just see the key here. So using this key, you can just put it in a decryptor.exe, then the files will be decrypted back. So thank you.
Thank you, Sumita. That was a good explanation about the network artifacts when a ransomware infection happens. Let's move to further slide. Okay. So let's talk about some mitigations to stop ransomware attacks. So firstly, you need to make sure how to protect by making your endpoint security more secure by using some endpoint security management tools or products. So that's one part. So before that, make some precautions. Do make sure that all the systems and softwares are up to date with relevant patches, and restrict administrative rights by providing proper permissions. Do not provide personal information when answering an email. That may lead to many social engineering attacks, right? Like spamming or further attacks through which you can get the malwares also. So use reputable threat prevention software that does preventing known threats, intrusion detections, and does file integrity monitoring, log monitoring, and analysis of network traffic, and continuous threat intelligence syncing to the cloud, and real-time traffic monitoring, and a solution which identifies and must prevents, and also it must prevent the unknown threats, and that means 0-day attacks. So those are never seen before attacks. 0-day attacks means. So be updated with security awareness trainings and a continuous vulnerability assessment on your infrastructure, all the endpoints, so that you can come to know what vulnerabilities are there before the actual attacks happen, so that you can patch before those attacks. So be updated with every steps counts here. So whatever I told so far. So if infected, unplug from the network immediately, because that may be a crypto worm. In fact, infection can spread rapidly to other endpoints in the same network, or can even spread to other network. So do not pay the ransomware. I don't recommend that because if, the moment you pay that is you're encouraging the cyber criminals. That means you're directly investing for their further research and all attacks. So create a deep defense in depth before the attack. That's how multi-layered security blades you should apply. If it is very critical and sensitive infrastructure, like you applying the threat prevention blades like IPS, anti-bot solutions, antivirus, threat extraction, and emulation for the just have some sandblasting solutions. So never forget to have a copy of the data. Restoration of your files from the backup is the fastest way to regain access to your data. Okay. So one more thing I can, since it is we are Checkpoint CCSP partners, I can give you some tips for Checkpoint customers that for preventing ransomware attacks like 0-day attacks and getting the nice analysis from the entry point to exit point between what malware does. So there is a solution called Sandblast Agent where you can protect your systems from the 0-day ransomware attacks also. So one more thing, if the customer has IPS blade enabled on the firewall, you just go to some signatures, which is IPS signatures. Okay, checkpoint for ransomware, right? I was checking this while I was researching. These guys were talking about that. And there are some known protections available on the IPS blade. Like, okay. So these are the protections because many of the ransomware families works based on some common behaviors that can be captured in the traffic, and those will be mitigated. So these protections make sure if it is not activated, make it active and prevent, put it in the prevent mode. So all 7 protections are there to prevent ransomware attacks on the checkpoint firewall if they have enabled IPS. Okay. So let's move on to question and answer section. Before that, let's finish this recording. So good luck for your further learnings, and thank you all for your kind participation. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Let's see you in the next webinar. Thank you.